Welcome everyone to episode 1. I'm a normal guy in North Texas trying to see if I can qualify for the U.S. Senior Open in 2026. In this video series, we'll document the journey through tournaments, practice, play, and preparation. In this episode, I'll be doing something that Bryson DeChambeau recommended to try to get used to going low. Play from the front tees and see how many birdies you can make in one round. Let's see how it works. Okay, episode 1.
Episode 1.
All right.
Let's do it.
So this is basically a journey log as far as me trying to get to qualify for the U.S. Open in 2026. So Adam and I will be going through the rounds. I'm already learning this stuff is not linear in the sense where it's not just like no matter what I do, it's not just a constant uprise. There's some ups and then there's some downs, and but I am learning a lot already. So the goal in this one in the round was I played forward 1 tee. So one of the things I heard Bryson DeChambeau talk about was getting used to going low, and I think that's kind of a failure of mine. You know, I don't anyone I think that plays golf, if you've had a really good round going,
Yeah.
and you get out there in the middle of it, and you're like, man, I'm playing good, and all of a sudden, it just explodes. Yeah. So funny thing is, it was a cold, wet day, and it's a course I'm familiar with, so I had that going for me.
Right.
But they paired me up with some other guys. This is at Rockwood Park Golf Course in Fort Worth, Texas. So here we go. So, have you even played Rockwood since they've redone it?
I have. Much better. I really like some of the improvements they made out there.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Okay.
So are you playing the ladies' tees?
No. At this time, so
Just checking.
it's winter. There was some overseeding being done. So at least on the first tee, they had us on 10th tee.
Okay.
So we were up. But when did you get to play? I didn't know you played.
Yeah, it's been it was probably a year after they did the redo, Mark. And I was super impressed. You know, because we played the old one in the city championship when we were kids. And,
Yeah, for sure.
So the new one is definitely much better.
Yeah, it's good. So it's a little chilly out there. Like I said, a little wet. This one's a pretty straightforward par 4. You want to send it center right.
Yeah, perfect drive.
No, it left me in a good spot. So right here, I'm just thinking, you know, get something on the putting surface.
Yeah.
This green kind of rolls away from you, so it's very common to, if you come up barely short, it checks.
Yeah.
If you fly to the hole, it's known to skip and run out to the back.
Oh, okay.
So,
You know, we talked about your wedge game a little bit too. So, are you a clock system guy, or just a straight look and practice swing and feel? I mean, do you know you know what I mean by that?
Sure. I'd say at this time when I filmed this, and it's been like a month since I filmed it, you and I have met.
Yeah.
I was doing a little bit more of a clock deal there. Since then, I've kind of moved away from it.
Yeah.
And I've changed my stance, and I've done something a little crazier. And maybe we can go through it in one of our one of our other deals where maybe we're having like a short game deal, something like that. We're planning on doing a lot of stuff here, so this is episode 1. But I've kind of moved away from it because I think I don't always get the dial right.
Yeah.
I think I'm going 10:30 and I'm,
you're going
11:30, 12 o'clock. I don't think I get the dial right. But I do like the concept of it.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's for me. I think the key for me is I have to accelerate the golf club.
Yeah. Yes. It's so where I was going with that too is I almost think I'm doing a certain point on the clock as well. But my thing.
Real quick, I just had a little 2-putt there.
Yeah.
The guy gave me a read. I didn't believe it. I just hung it up. Well, our left, mine. Yeah.
Well, just to finish on the wedge game though, just real quick, I always feel like if I get too long is when I start missing the shots. So I'm with you. If I'm short, you know what I mean. If you're hitting an 80-yard wedge shot and you feel like you're taking a quarter swing, you feel like you really have to accelerate. That's when I feel like my wedges are the best.
Yeah.
Is when I keep them short, the backswing shorter, and accelerate. And I just try to visualize kind of a clock system. I know it's probably not spot on, but
Sure. No, well, the biggest thing I've noticed. So Adam, what do you play to? Adam Jenkins plays to
about a 2 now.
Okay, Adam's a 2. I'm playing to about a +3-2.
Yeah.
I get to play a little bit more than Adam does. I hit this one really good, down center right.
That's par five.
It is par 5, and
Yeah.
I smoked it. I think it left me just outside 150 something.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've started. Well, we talked about maybe getting to it later.
Yeah.
I've started opening the face up a little bit more, almost kind of flop shiny.
I know.
Oh yeah, on your wedges.
On my wedges,
Oh,
and it's only in the like the 60,
Hole, like
50, 60 yard ranges that kind of weird. It's not it's not even a full or a
Yeah.
3/4 60
Yeah.
degree. I'll open it more, get my stance, get my feet set out a little bit, front left foot out here, back foot, get in the middle of my stance, and I accelerate almost through like a knockdown,
Yeah.
but the face is open, and it allows me to really just swing at it.
Yeah, get after
The
it.
ball doesn't carry very far.
Yeah.
It's spinning like crazy. When it lands on the green, it's like check, check, stop. And from 50 or 60 yards, I can just accelerate. This one I hit about an 8-iron. There's a bunker out there, and I thought, I have to carry that bunker. Normally I would have hit 9, but it's cold, wet conditions. My thought is just get it over, trouble right, just get it on the putting surface. My swing feels good this morning.
Are you like half club add on when it's cold, or?
Oh yeah.
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 I feel like sometimes it could be as much as a club
Oh.
when it's cold.
So I mean, if I'm hitting the ball well and it's warm conditions, I think my 8-iron can go
65.
no, like 75 at least.
Oh wow. Okay.
If it's cold, I'm maybe down 65.
65.
Mm-hmm. So this is an eagle putt that I've got. I think I see it going maybe 1.5 feet from my left to right, and it will run away from me if it gets past me.
Oh, you made it.
As soon as I hit it, I knew it. Man, I love those putts. You ever just get over a putt and you just know all you have to do is just get it started. Like, you see it so well, and I don't know how I can duplicate that.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely a mental thing.
It's mental.
It's completely mental.
Absolutely.
So I always tinker around, like, what can I do to try to artificially create the scenario in which
Yeah.
I see it or feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like if I grind over a putt long enough, I can find it,
Yeah.
but I don't want to be the slowest player on the golf course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they'll call the clock on me anyway. So this is downtown Fort Worth in the background. I want to hit a little
That's
draw.
pretty.
It is. It's a
It's
really
hole
pretty
3,
hole.
right?
It is 3.
Par
Right.
4.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's, in the summertime, if it's downwind, you can drive it. It's
Yeah.
it's 360, something like that. But in this, the wind's coming back at me, and so I got about 60 yards left, and it's a
Where's
pretty
the pin?
protected little flag. You see, you got the bunker. To the right of the bunker, there's a dark tree.
Yeah.
The flag is just left of that tree.
Okay.
And if I go long, I'm in a pot bunker. There's a pot bunker you can't see behind it.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where you have to be aggressive to get it up on the ridge. But
See, that was a nice, compact, short backswing.
thank you.
I thought. I mean, that looked. I'll be shocked if the result isn't pretty good.
It is pretty good, actually.
I just see so many guys, Mark, they get so long with the wedges,
Mhm.
and from there you have to decelerate. If you're
You're
trying
right.
to hit a 70-yard lob wedge or a 60-yard lob wedge, assuming you can hit it 90,
Mm-hmm.
and you take it back to the parallel,
Yeah.
you have to decelerate. And then you see the chunks, and then they get upset, and I'm like, to me, you gotta narrow up. I like narrowed up, lean left, and
Mhm.
shorter backswing, and rotate like crazy, and just hold the face.
Well, so that's a weakness of mine, and you're going to see it, and you'll probably call me on it if you places.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where
Yeah.
but bad habits are hard to break. You get in
Mhm.
it, whether you're playing good, you're playing bad. It's hard to. You ever heard of a thing called like a mental scorecard?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the concept of a mental scorecard, I'm hoping to make this one, try to get 3 red through 3.
How far is that? It's hard for me.
15-ish, 16, and I barely don't hit it.
Yeah.
It just,
Left it right.
I give that thing another 3 inches of pace,
Yeah.
and it falls in. But it was a good roll though. That's the biggest goal I've been looking at lately. It started on the line that I wanted.
Yeah.
Guys, if you go out to buy a putter, Doesn't matter if it goes in the cup. Get the putter where the ball starts on the line that you expect it to.
Yeah.
If you hit a putt, I could care less if it goes in.
Yeah.
If it doesn't start on the line that you're looking, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're just guessing.
Yeah. Anyway, I was saying something before, and I don't remember what. All right, so this is a par 5. You know, this is, I think, probably for a par 5. This is the hardest hole on the golf course.
Yeah, this is a good hole. I remember
This
this
is a
hole.
really good hole. I never go for it in 2. It's too dangerous. The green's completely surrounded by water.
Yeah.
From these tees, these 4 tees, if I don't keep it left, thank you. If I don't keep it left, then everything to the left side will push back right.
Yeah.
You can find the water off
Yeah.
the tee.
Yeah.
So this is a really good hole. I like it a lot. So again, there's water everywhere.
Yeah.
The risk reward, OB long. I mean, it's like trying to hit a postage stamp from 270. Like you're just not going to do it. So I've got 7 iron in my hand. I'm just trying to get this thing somewhere around 100 yards.
So
And give myself a
7 iron
wedge.
around
You
170.
can hit that 175-ish.
Yeah, just get in there. I'm going to try to put a little draw on it, keep it left side of the fairway, keep it out of trouble.
Great shot.
Maybe 125 to 100 yards, depending on
So are you
how
like-
soft it lands.
Are you thinking 272, if I hit you want to hit something 172, right? Theoretically?
Theoretically, yes. Now
Maybe
everything
100?
center right of this fairway will roll towards the water, so I'm hyper cautious to stay to the left side.
Okay.
So the more I go left, the further I am away from the hole.
Right.
So at a certain point, I'm hitting more yards, but I'm not actually getting closer to it
Yeah.
because if I put a little draw on, I'm going actually away from the hole at that
Right,
point.
right.
But yeah, so this is just a little layup. Sometimes I struggle with layups because I think they're so automatic I don't focus on them enough.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I mishit that one a little bit, but you know,
Struck
as
up
well. Our wine. So I picked this up on the way over here. Napa Cellars. All right, this is a cab. Price point in the grocery store was
126.
27, 28 bucks.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's
Yeah,
good.
It's delicious.
I like it. It's good. We'll try to feature a wine in each one.
I hit it easy.
Kind of a wine dork. I never really got into the like craft beer.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people like them. Maybe it's my age now.
Yeah.
Like I just get real puffy, and I don't know if it's the hops or
Yeah, I
something.
can't do the IPAs. I can do the wheat beers. And
You can?
Yeah, and I can do the lagers and stuff like that. But man, those IPAs tell me up.
I can't. Give me a Corona and some lime.
Yeah.
And I just find my beach.
I'm with you. I like the cabs. It's a good dry.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
So I'm a little tweener here.
Oh, laid the sod over that.
Dude,
Rods.
yeah. It was so bad.
Little,
And it's so frustrating because, you know, you have a good round going. You feel good about everything. Swing feels good. And
A little between there and
it's not like you just, you know, it's just a bad shot.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Do you think though? So how far did you have there?
Honestly, I don't remember looking. It was in the 120s somewhere. I think.
You got it halfway there, bud.
Yeah.
That was really bad.
No, it was bad. And so the volume's down on this, folks. We can't hear it. You can't. It's really square. I mean, I'm right by this drain. It is soaking wet down there. This is way more difficult than the shot I just. At least what I had before was a full shot. Now I have, like we talked about, something you have to accelerate through, and it's sopping wet.
Almost
Like
the same.
it's almost casual water. It's so wet right here. And I've got 60 yards with a front pin. So, you know, with the front pin, you don't have a whole lot of room to work with. But going back to what we talked about, I tried to create that feeling
Yeah.
where I tried to picture making it.
Oh, you made it.
I made it.
Oh wow, that was awesome.
So seriously, so I've started this
just
deal
when you
where
think something terrible
whenever
happens,
I'm
it
worried
turns
about
into
a
something
shot,
good.
I mentally try to flip the coin
Yeah.
and say, no, like F it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this sucker.
Yeah.
And it goes from a mindset of don't mess up
Middle of the green.
to being hyper aggressive. And
Yeah.
sometimes I pay for it. Sometimes I get overly aggressive and it goes 20 feet past, you know, it's too much.
I think my 9's too much.
But man, since I've been doing it over the past like
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks,
After my last
I think I've probably holed out at least 4 or 5
Yeah.
chips
saw something or mid
that I've been somewhat nervous about.
Isn't that funny?
It's mental.
I think that there's a lot of things in life that are that way too.
Oh,
you want to
100%.
go sideways about your job or your marriage or whatever, and sometimes you pull yourself aside and say, "Hey, wait a minute here. I need to get my mind straightened out." I've always struggled with my mental game.
Yeah.
Bad temper, just get really upset, beat myself up, and I'm pretty good at that. Except I don't
He's
throw
got
stuff
the
like
lock.
that. Yeah, I just break them with my leg. Don't say a whole lot about it, but it's extremely
I haven't seen you
immature.
break one. I've seen you toss a few, but I haven't seen you break one in a
We
while.
don't play enough golf. Nonetheless, not the right way to handle yourself on the golf course.
So Adam and I we used to play high school golf against each other. He played for Pascal. I played for Southwest. We both had pretty solid teams. Some guys, either through caddying or as players, we found our way on the tour, or they found their way on the
Yeah.
tour. So we had some good guys. Did you see how handsy I was
Yes.
on that putt? I'm working on that.
Yeah.
It's a
there's
work in
lot of
progress.
this.
I'm
Yeah.
really just flipping it
You get
so
that.
bad. And I don't feel it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm able to shoot some of the scores I shoot with that. There's so many things that I'm seeing, y'all. This is so beneficial to film this just for seeing myself because I had no idea that I did some of
That
this
you
stuff.
did certain.
That certain things that I'm seeing in here,
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Well, it's like when somebody tells you you think you're lined up perfectly, and they tell you your feet are lined up 30 yards right, and you're going, wait a minute,
Right.
seriously?
Right.
So it's so important to lay the sticks down when you're practicing, which I
Mhm.
don't do enough either. Of course, I don't really practice that much.
I mean, you need to. You're a heck of a player, man. If you put some more effort into it, you would be really good. So this is I'd say a pretty easy par 4. You really have to hit a bad shot. Really, the only bad shot is far left, like above my head. Anything to the right, like way right, is still pretty open. The idea is to hit a little draw over this right-hand tree, and that gets you back in the speed slot.
I was about to say that.
And
That's coming.
I just block that out.
All
But
right.
even that's not like it's not terrible, you know. There's a tee box over there for 2.
So good players never say that it's their fault. They always blame it, on the drain, like you did on the par 5. That's what good players do. It's never their fault. It's always the greens. It's always something.
It's
All right.
something.
So that tee shot right there, I'm gonna call bullshit. That was mental. You didn't want to hit that ball left, and you
No, I didn't.
failed, and you blew it right.
I did.
Okay.
I
Now that we
did.
got that out of the way with.
About 106.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Just
flare.
outside my fan wedge range.
But I get that sometimes, and I don't think it's the end of the world if you get over an uncomfortable tee shot and just say, you know what, I'm just not going to hit it there, and you fail. That's
You know, I've got better at
because
packing
look,
away.
you're good. I mean, you're
No,
fine, right?
it's fine. It really is. It's wet there again.
Yeah.
You can tell it rained the night before a lot. But I've got a clear shot. There's nothing in my way.
Yeah.
And I've got a wedge in my hands.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not the end of the world. Exactly.
No.
You told yourself that you weren't.
but I just chunked it again. I think I've got have you noticed the problem with ball position? Do I have an issue with ball position, my wedges?
I don't. I think it's two things. I think sometimes your backswing gets long, and then the second thing is I
It's
don't
live
think
clean
you,
in place, y'all, just saying.
I don't think you rotate enough through some of your wedges. They look very
Really?
very handsy.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean those wedges. I feel like again, the easiest part about a wedge shot, in my opinion, you don't have to shift your weight on almost all of them.
Mhm.
So you don't have to have any sort of lean left and rotate and do all this stuff that all the new guys are teaching. You can just lean left and you just depending on your backswing, you just rotate. And sometimes I see you getting a little long and no rotation.
Do you press forward on?
I mean, my hands are forward
Yeah.
because I want my hands. Obviously on every iron
Mhm.
shot, you want to be.
Yeah.
You want the handle in front of the golf ball, but
I tell you what I did on that one. That
yeah.
No, man, I forget sometimes. So anytime you're chipping, if the ball's off your left foot for a right-handed player, if it's off your front foot, it's getting up in the air.
Yeah,
Ball's off your back foot, it's going to stay down.
that's right. That's right.
I had the ball off my front foot, but mentally I was thinking of hitting a low running shot.
I got you.
So it flew the distance for a low running shot, but it was up in the air, and
Yeah.
now I'm, 16 feet for par.
Do you think about the balance of the lob wedge, dig versus bounce? Is that something you've ever
I-
really thought about?
Not a ton, to be honest with you, not a ton.
The reason I bring it up, I literally did not learn how to use the bounce of a wedge. I've been playing, I'm 46, I've been playing golf since I was 3. And I always have been pretty good around the greens. It's been the best part of my game, is chipping and putting and wedging, and I've just kind of been crooked off the tee. But
Yeah.
I just kind of lean left and hands left and use the dig. And I just learned about 2 years ago really about bounce versus dig.
Okay.
And now it has helped me so much on tight lies or wet lies.
I didn't give that one.
Yeah, I didn't get it there.
All right, explain it to us.
Well, like, so if I have a tight or a wet lie, I don't want my hands way forward to where the leading edge is going to dig into the ground.
Right.
Because then if I don't have perfect contact, I'm going to duff it
Right.
or blade it. So now if I have a tighter lie, I put the handle up and I just let
Handle's
the
the
bounce.
grip.
Yeah, the grip. I put it more up this way, and I don't lean my hands way forward, and I just let the bounce of the club do the work, and it
Okay.
let the loft of the weight, so that it just bounces into the ground. And,
Okay.
it has helped me so, especially on tight lies. If I got a nice fluffy lie in grass, I'll dig all day.
Hey y'all, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I filmed this myself, and the camera had moved after I set it up. This is a short par 4, reachable,
Yeah.
and
Oh god.
I hit one down the left
Yeah,
side.
no, I think a hard 3
Um,
was a better play.
Sorry, we got talking about wedges.
Yeah.
I've got a reasonable little shot here. Pin is, so from the other angle, we were teeing off that way, or I guess it's going to invert it that way. And the pin was front right. So now, in this side of the fairway, I'm looking straight down the line. There's a bunker in front of me, and everything runs away towards the back of the green, at least from this angle. So, I mean, basically, you've got like 90 degrees of fairway around this hole. So there's some other guys that are short to my right that are coming up as well. So I'm just trying to carry this over that bunker and just let it feed down.
Yeah.
But going back to what you're saying
I
on the
bet you
bounce,
hit a good shot.
you know, I did hit a good shot.
You know why I know you hit a good shot?
Why is that?
Because the way you just explained exactly how you were gonna hit it. There was so much thought involved there, and you visualized the shot and you hit it.
I did.
Instead of just being like, oh, it's 60 yards.
A little bit on me.
And send it.
Yeah, you were literally telling me about how you're gonna bounce it and roll it down the slope, and that, you know, you really thought about it.
Well, no, I mean, look,
There's a lot to that.
there's a lot to it. And I'd say most of the times, the more I think of a shot, the better I do. But there are times that I overcook the books. There are times that I
agree.
overthink it, and I need to shut off.
Yep.
Especially, you know, my miss is right. You know, if I've got a left wind and right water, right hazard,
What I wouldn't get that right
that's.
this. Been no road
I'm just saying,
10 years.
man.
All right, what do we got here? This is for a birdie. Oh, drained it. What did I tell you? That wasn't
Dude.
like 6, 7 feet.
I love these little uphill slight breakers.
Was that about 6, 7 foot?
10, 12.
I don't
Something like
know,
that.
do work.
Beautiful.
Dude,
So
I
now
love
what-
little uphill putts.
What are you, 3 over, 4 over?
Yeah, back to 3.
3 under.
Yeah, 3 under.
Wet.
This is a good, you know, this kind of reminds me, there's a course in Louisville, the Tribute, which is a
Oh, yeah. Tribute
to
British Open.
yeah, Scottish links courses. This kind of reminds me of the postage stamp.
Agreed.
Small green, elevated. The one in Louisville, I haven't played the real one yet. But there's a lake behind it, so there's nothing to stop the wind. It's howling, and you're hitting to a very small pin placement from, you know, maybe 110, 120 yards. I really did that. I put it right where I wanted to. It's a little right of the flag, below the hole, uphill putt. Kind of a little sister of the one I just had. It's probably even closer. Yeah, so it's
Good place. to
again
putt.
like 12 feet uphill. It's a good looking putt. So this is kind of where I start to get like, all right, I'm 3.
Yeah.
I make this get to 4.
So you're aware of the fact you know that you're 3 under par.
Yes.
That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
So you keep scoring your brain pretty.
I do, man. You know what? I do way better when I play match play.
Yeah.
Because when I'm playing, I mean,
Oh,
I know.
slammed it.
It's such a good putt though. I just hit it too hard.
I'd rather see that all day though than leaving it short on an uphill putt. And you missed it on the high side.
Yeah,
It broke right to left, right?
I didn't look.
Oh. Well, whatever.
I wasn't looking when But I hit it well,
Yeah.
and I gave it just a skosh too much space. This is a good little hole because
This is nice. This used to be a real. I love this hole.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, it's a good hole. This is one of those. Normally I don't hit driver here. Usually I hit like a hybrid from this forward tee because you have to hit it absolutely perfect there. If
Yeah.
I don't hit a slight draw,
Yeah.
I'll carry the bunker and put it in the native grass, which
Yes.
there's no hope from. If you overcook it, you're in the trees to my left, which there's no hope from. But if I hit a hybrid, it's not going to make it to the native grass, and it's going to find its way back.
How about that?
So this one, yeah, it lands right there on the side slope and kicks its way out to the fairway. But if you miss it at all to the right, most of the higher handicappers, I'd say like 10 and above,
Yeah.
they're up on the hill by Jacksboro Highway. I mean, they're up there on the road.
Yeah.
And I try to tell them, like, don't hit driver. Like, they'd be better off playing from the tips where they can't get it to the native grass.
Yeah. I agree.
It's harder for them in my mind because
Is this green still real slopey from back to front? If I remember correctly.
it's not. This is a really weird green. This is
Yeah,
one of
I
those
remember it being
greens.
real weird.
So y'all at this golf course, like local knowledge, everything breaks away from the road. So the architect set the green up to actually be level, which makes it look like everything's going to break towards the road, but it's still flat. So you're looking at a putt within your mind looks like it's breaking hard, severe
Yeah.
from left to right. And the darn thing stays straight the whole way. It is such a mental challenge to set up straight to a putt that looks like it's going to go straight to the water gutter to the right of the green.
That looked pretty solid.
Dude, that was one of my better swings of the day. That landed about 6 feet and spun back to maybe 10 feet. It landed right next to the cup. So again, the general thought is everything goes away from the road. Since I'm going back towards the road, I'm thinking this has to at least be right lip. That's kind of where I'm looking at this.
Yeah.
I know, anything back to that other player, that's Jose back there. He's a pretty good player in his own right. If I hit it straight towards him, you would think it would go right, but it stays straight, maybe a little left. So I'm thinking this has got to go a little towards Jose, and I put it right lip, and I hit it right where I'm looking, and it just hangs. It just hangs. Yeah, but man, I don't mind those.
Yeah.
If I hit my line, if I hit a putt that I want, and it's on the line that I want, like I just misread it.
Yeah, it's hard to get
And,
upset with that. I mean,
I just
hit your
misread
line.
it. Yeah.
You've done some damage.
I had a good look. I hit a T-ball in the fairway.
This hole.
This is a good golf
This
hole.
hole didn't change much.
No, it did not.
Straight away, and really the trouble doesn't get you until you get up in between the trees. If I remember, you could actually lay back here if you wanted, right?
You could. It's like
Oh no, the left trees come in.
it's I think it's like 310, 315 to the hazard,
Okay.
which seems like a long way, but we're elevated, so it finds its way down there.
That's perfect.
I roasted that one.
Yeah.
It was
straight tee shot right there.
It was really nice. Yeah, this is a good golf course.
Mm-hmm.
Felt good.
So, what do you feel? Lately, I've been going off of the mindset that. Real quick, I've got this has been my sweet spot lately. Anything around 100 yards, I felt really good on. But what do you feel about the mindset where sometimes when I'm hitting a bad shot, I'm more and more gravitating to the concept that I didn't necessarily put a bad move on it as much as I tried to hit the wrong shot for the situation.
Yeah.
And my body, I think naturally we want to set our bodies up a certain way. I'm not trying to be all bagger advanced. There's some authentic swing for all of us. But I think there is a shot that we're comfortable with, and whether we know it or not, we're trying to hit that shot.
Yep.
And if you set up to something contrary to that, and you hit a bad shot, you're like, oh, I hit a bad shot. It's like, well, if your feet are this way and your shoulders are this way, and you're gonna put a bad move on the ball. You were doomed from the start.
I tried to put my feet close
And
together.
there's certain holes that set up well to my eye, and I play those holes well. And I think it's where what I want to see combines with what I need to hit,
Yeah.
and that's why I hit a good shot there. This was like kick in.
Beauty.
I feel so good around 100 yards.
You know, and I think it goes back to our conversation earlier. I mean, you said that, you know, you knew that was a good yardage for you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so my advice would be to try to get to that yardage more often.
Right. Yeah.
But secondly, you know, I think if you want to be a good competitive golfer, which I've had some really good competitive rounds golf in my life. Now this is years ago, but I never was really good at competitive golf. I was always okay at it. And but if I could go backwards, I think just really having conviction in your golf swing and what you're doing, and understanding you got to be able to have a go-to, and you got to be able to have a shot you can hit.
Yeah.
But understanding how you're hitting that shot, and it starts with ball position, alignment, club face, everything. Once you figure that out, then I think you can really go compete.
Real quick, I'm
Yeah.
taking a risk here. No, I'm not a risk taker. I'm sending this. Usually you hit out to the right of where I just hit with like a long iron or a hybrid.
Yeah.
That leaves you like 140, 150 in. You can try to cover the trees and hazards about a 270 carry
Yeah.
to get it out there, and then you're kind of just short chipping from the green. I tugged mine left, so now I'm like 70 yards out, but now I've got to carry this tree. So 60 yards out. So, you know, when you're feeling confident, you maybe get a little greedy, but I felt like it was a risk worth taking because I can't really, as long as I hit it far enough to carry,
Yeah.
I couldn't get in a bad spot. So, real quick, what Adam was talking about, man, I think that's one of
And
the
I'll
things
offset the sun.
that I've gotten much better at lately is, I mean, obviously not that hole right there, but getting to where I'm hitting at numbers.
Yeah.
I'm on the tee box, I shoot the flag, I'm like, oh, it's 375. Okay, well, let me hit something 275. I'm aiming for my sweet spot.
Yeah.
It's not driver every time as close as I can get it.
Yeah.
Because then you get to these weird numbers, the fairways constrict. I think one of the biggest problems that like higher handicap players have is you got some higher handicap guys that can still send it 300 yards.
Yep.
They're not as accurate, but they can still send it out there. Well, once you get to where you're hitting it 300 yards from a more forward tee, that fairway constricts.
Yeah, it gets small.
It gets real small. I think they would have more success playing for the tips, and they'd be landing that ball in the widest part of the fairway.
Agreed.
Man, that was just hey, try to get one close. If it drops, it drops. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
On a 30 low expectation.
You're just it's a low expectation. That's like a 10% make ratio, maybe. So we're just trying to get it up there. But I feel good right now. I'm thinking there's a par 3 coming up and a par 5 after that I think I can birdie. And
we're what, 3 red here?
4.
25 back in.
Okay.
I believe I'm 4. Let's see if it tells me here in a second.
Yeah. Hole
There you
12,
go.
4
4.
red.
Yeah. Okay. So the idea is par here, birdie eagle on the next, and then I need to hang on for dear life on the next 3 holes after that.
Yeah.
The next 3 holes after that are tough.
Pretty tough.
17, 18, I should have good birdie looks there. 17 short par 4, 18 on par 5.
Kind of got it mapped out.
Do you map out some of your rounds like that? Do you think about holes in advance?
I mean, not now, but when I competed years back, I mean, I would always go, you know, in my practice round, and I would go through my scorecard, and I would kind of circle the holes that I thought, I would circle the holes that I thought were very birdieable. I would even sometimes rate them as like, okay, I got 6 holes that should be very gettable.
This thing was almost perfect.
Oh,
I hit it to the right of the flag,
didn't come
and it
down.
just rolls down. Dude, I barely didn't cover the bunker. It barely hit on the lip and
Yeah.
stopped it from releasing,
Yeah.
and it just left it just a skosh short.
Yeah.
It would have been really good. I mean, I've got an uphill shot. I kept the golf course in front of me, which is in my mind like priority 1. Keep the golf course in front of you. Don't get over. Don't go past greens. Don't go past your landing areas.
You looks like you get about what, 4 feet of fairway to putt through there.
Yeah, but it's winter, so it's not, at least right here, it's not really wet, so it seems to do fine. Like I don't remember having trouble with that roll. Again, this is one of those where I keep expecting it to go left,
And it's just
go away
the gravity
from Jacksboro Highway, and
Yeah.
it doesn't. It just
Yeah, it didn't do it.
it just hangs. Yeah, it just hangs.
Yeah.
So when you're playing, and y'all, this is me talking out loud. I want to hear, because this is what I would do, and I want to hear what Adam's. I really respect his opinion on a lot of stuff. I will look at a golf course. There's an app called the Grint. Okay, that's what I tend to use for whatever reason. Download it, check it out. It allows you to put in a lot of stats, and over time, it'll give you some really good feedback on what your strengths and weaknesses are. But I will go through, and it allows you to move like where you're teeing off from, where your landing areas are, and it shows you your distance from like bunker or hazards. So
Right.
I can kind of map out, okay, if I hit a hybrid here, that's going to get me in the fairway 150 yards out. But even if I crush it, I can't make it to this bunker. I can't make it to the hazard. Or what do I need if I carry this bunker? There's actually no trouble, right? Because sometimes, you know, like when you're driving a car, sometimes the safest thing is to not press on the brake, but slam on the gas.
That's right.
Get past the trouble.
That's right.
How often do you look at a course and try to make every decision before you play? So when you're on the course,
Yeah.
you're not making decisions. You're following a plan. Because I
Yeah.
found if I'm following a plan, I play much better than if I'm like, do I go for this par 5 and 2? Do I hit driver on this par 4, or do I hang back risk reward?
I mean, when I used to compete, I did that. You know?
Okay.
But now my expectations are a lot lower than they were, 10, 15 years ago. But when I was competing, yeah, I mean, I would have my book and I would write out what I thought the club was, and I would look at the weather and see if I could kind of get an idea on which way the wind was going to blow. So I knew, like, okay,
I don't mean to interrupt you.
no.
I
Par 5,
push
yeah.
this out, par 5, dude. I
Yeah.
am stuck.
So you got to hit a big old hook.
I've got to hit a big old hook. There's a building straight ahead. You can see it back there behind
Yeah.
the road. I'm aiming just a little to the right of that. I'm gonna try to hook this around. Shot Tracer has a heck of a time following this thing because it hooks so much. So I've got to hit this. I think it's 225-ish hold. I've probably got to carry it about 180, get it on the ground, and just let it roll all the way back. The flag's behind the tree.
Oh. You were trying to go underneath it?
Well,
was
it,
more
it,
around
it ended up going more under than I wanted to go around it. It ended
Yeah.
up going more under than I thought. I'd probably say I started it out maybe 7 feet left of where I wanted.
So how far did you have to hook that ball? 20 yards?
That's probably like a 40-yard hook.
40-yard hook. So when you do that, do you flip it with your hands or do you aim right and close the club face?
I flip it with my hands.
You do. Oh, I do that every shot.
Do you? Well, dude, I mean, I got it like 15 feet. I mean,
That is
give
impressive.
or take.
That is a great golf shot. So you got this for eagle.
I do.
So you got to be pissing your pants right about now because you're 4 under and you're like, oh God, I'm going to shoot 65.
Honestly, this is such a terrifying putt. I'm just trying not to 3-putt.
Okay.
But there's a lot of movement to this putt, and I think I've got a little work left.
Try not
it's
to
just
3-putt.
yeah.
That is
I'm
a
just
horrendous,
man.
horrendous outlook.
There. Hey, look, dude. I've had 7-footers that have been like just 2-putt and get out. I mean, some putts, it doesn't matter how close you are.
Fair enough.
Some of them are just flat out dangerous.
Fair enough.
And that,
Behind the hole.
you
number
can't
4,
really
usually.
tell. Right.
Yeah, I get it. Did you make it?
No. Well, I made the come
But
out.
you 2-putted.
Yeah, no, I 2-putted
Alright.
and I got out.
That's a good point too. You're right. I mean, there are some putts where you're like, just stick 2 putts if you want.
Man, that's what impresses me with these tour guys. There's stats inside of 10 feet on tour level greens with those pin placements. It's ridiculous.
They're just so good, man.
They're so good.
But you think about man, they were good at every level and just the level of commitment and the teams that they put together between the physical fitness
Right.
and the diet, and then they've got their swing coaches, they've got their putting coaches. You know, it's just like there's so much commitment and they have all the statistics and they work their butts off. You know, it's not just you don't see a lot of
Right.
guys like, no offense, John Daly. I'm a huge fan of John Daly.
He's
But
a
I
natural
don't
talent.
think JD worked like some of these guys do.
No,
You know
no.
what I mean?
Well, you know, but some guys like that's how they work. You know, like
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel. He didn't really do anything for practice or
Yeah.
preparation. He just went out and
Yeah.
winged it.
Yeah.
And I think if they tried to make him a practice preparation guy, it kills the
works.
magic of it kills the magic of who they are.
Well, it's like if you try to make Justin Leonard like John
123,
Daly.
a little down.
You know,
it
same
just
kind of feel,
you know
right?
we've all got our game,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you gotta find what works.
You have to.
But I
find
do
what works
feel
for
like
you.
the game has transitioned more into the stats, the teams.
Hey, Jose.
More guys are doing that now. There's not a lot of guys that show up, with a cigarette in their mouth hungover anymore. It just golf is not
That was
like.
so glorious. When
Oh, it was
when we were growing up, that was like.
Well,
that was
I mean,
golf.
Jack and Arnie and all the guys. I mean, that was from the '50s all the way into the
Yeah.
'90s.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
So this right here, this is actually I think one of the hardest holes. This is probably the second hardest hole on the golf course. The tee shot I hit was amazing, and I've left myself a wedge. I catch it the slightest bit heavy, but it is coming down the chimney. Hits up there by the flag, and just spins back on the ridge.
Oh, man, enough
You
to
were
get
five
there.
red here.
I'm
Real
5
up
red,
in the air.
and I was pin seeking right
Where were we
there.
at? 14 or 15?
Can't tell.
14, I
14.
believe.
Okay.
And this thing hit up there close and came back down this slope. Otherwise, it would have been 2.5, 3 feet.
Oh yeah, you just needed a couple more feet.
It just,
over the
I
ridge.
barely caught a little too much Texas.
Yeah.
And, yeah. But hey, going back to that, I would challenge y'all. Seriously, if you want to get better, start hitting targets.
Yeah.
Think about what you want to do and where you want to be. There's a difference between shooting a good score and chasing glory, is what I would say. There's like a 1 in 30 shot you'll pull off, getting on this par 5 and 2 or hitting this shot through the trees. But not that it's not cool when it happens, but it's rare.
Yeah.
But if you play the smart shot and you work out the plan for your round, you can post some really good scores, and then that builds confidence. The more you build confidence, that ends up being how you play, not an outlier, right? It just becomes your game. So this one, I've got a really good beat on this. It's going uphill. It's going a little from my left to right. This is a putt I like. I wished it was all one tier. I hate going up because I'm a little bit worried about the pace. But I feel good over this. I'd say 75% chance that I can make this when I'm standing over it.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be a good one to make.
Oh, I guarantee you, if I make this one, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
If I get to 6, I'm a little nervous. Man, you can't see it because it's behind the deal. It's like that on the doorstep. I mean, it's right there. It's so close.
What's the lowest round you ever shot?
Lowest round I've ever shot,
Oh yeah, 180.
And not playing the ladies' tees.
not playing the ladies' tees. Here's the funny thing. So my wife, we were not married at the time. This is fellas, this is what girls do. When you're young, they will come out with you on the golf course. They'll read
Yes.
books. They just want to be near you. And
Yep.
it's a glorious time in your life, and you should enjoy it. My wife will never come out to the golf course with me again. But the first time she did come out, we went out to a course called Sugar Trees. Fairly difficult course. It's a shot maker's course. Very,
Yeah.
very tight.
Yeah.
I doubled 18 to shoot 63. And that was the first time she played with me. I doubled 18, shoot 63. I go out with my
Or
buddies.
72?
Yeah.
Wow.
I go out with my buddies a week later. And she's like, "What'd you shoot?" And I was like, 73. She was like, "Ooh." I'm like, "No, like that's still good." She was like, "But you played so much better last time." I was like, "That's golf, babe."
Is that the lowest round you ever shot?
That is.
Yeah, that's good. I shot 64 one time, and that's the lowest I've gone. And that's hard to do. You look up and you're like, wow, I shot 8 under par.
But you don't notice it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the most birdies you've had in a round?
10.
Same here.
Yeah. Yeah,
10.
I made 10 birdies.
Yeah.
I shot 29 one time when I was 13 years old at Colonial in the front nine. That was pretty cool. 600.
That's a hard golf course.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. That's a hard golf course. So this is actually a decent miss. This is a really hard par 3. From the tips, it plays. We're not playing the tips. From the tips, it plays about 240. I think where we were was, you know,
180. I think it was like 180.
yeah, 180 something.
So you're short-sighted here, it looks like.
Yeah, but it's way better here than anywhere else. I like to hit these little
Good
chips.
there.
Ooh, tell me how you hit these. Man, I don't have a wedge with me. I like to get the toe up a little bit and really use the bottom of the shaft, like right where the heel
Balance.
is.
Yeah. Oh, the heel.
Like really close to the hosel.
Oh.
Like I get real close to the hosel on my chips. and I get my hands a little forward, and I use that just inside that little nook right there by the hosel.
Oh, why I got
It
this?
makes
Would
you
you not
nervous.
aim for the middle of the club face? I'm sorry, I can't
I
understand it.
use all parts of the club face.
Oh,
On flop shots, I'll take it off the toe,
oh,
and they spin like
probably
crazy.
make it- yeah, I could
Yeah,
roll
they
it.
spin like crazy. They come off a little dead. On putts, I will use the heel and the toe
Yeah,
consistently, especially for me, like a right to left putt. I'll use the toe because it seems like some of those putts you end up losing them low, and you take it off the toe and it actually pushes it out just a little bit, and it comes off a little dead, won't roll away from you.
interesting.
Y'all,
That's
mess-
imagination.
see, you got to mess
Mess
with
around
stuff like
with
this.
it, yeah.
You know, when we were, I don't know what you guys did over at Pascal, but I learned so much on the golf team. We would just stay out there till late. I mean, we would chip it off park benches. We'd
Well,
take it off the concrete.
We did a lot more than you because we beat you every single time. So
So fine. No, you didn't. we were actually pretty closely matched. No. Hey, the one time I remember we kicked y'all's butt in district and we went to regionals and y'all sat at home.
okay,
And then-
I must have not been on the Panther Pascal golf
maybe
team.
you
We
weren't on
never
that one.
missed a regional spots.
This is well. I remember one time where we took y'all out, and then Coronado Coronado El Paso. Those guys were like freaks of nature. I mean, for a 4-man team, I think they shot like 273 or something. Yeah, and the B team was like 281.
So you count 4 scores in high school golf, 475. So
By one
300
team,
is
yeah.
300.
Yeah.
So you break 300,
You're
pretty good for
It's
a high
pretty
school.
good for a high school team.
kids. I mean,
yeah. Same thing here, man. This is the toughest hole. Not toughest hole. This third toughest hole in the golf course. We're counting down. I got a wedge in my hand, pitching wedge.
Yeah.
And I just catch it a little heavy. And now I've got an uphill, short-sided, wet.
That looks skinny.
It is skinny as all get out.
Yeah.
I'm really,
I'm thinking 2 things here.
I'm thinking about putting it, first of all.
I'm thinking maybe putter, maybe 7-iron, or if I'm going to hit a wedge, I am not getting diggy on this at all. I'm going to get I'm going to get that.
Have you ever stood over a shot and said, I should not hit this shot?
Oh, absolutely.
This is what I'm
And
doing
it's
right
a,
now.
And it's a shitty result every single time.
I'm standing over it thinking, don't pull the trigger, but I don't know what else to do.
Yep.
And I just,
Yeah.
like,
You need to make up your mind.
I knew it. I had no business taking that club back.
Yeah, look at that. It's right back to your feet.
Yeah.
Now you gotta hit the same shot again. That's the worst
This
part
is a
about
brutal
hitting it out of
game,
bounds is you
It's
gotta
a
hit it
brutal
again.
game.
That's right. You gotta unload your bag.
All right, so now I'm like, heck with this. I'm just going to
You
putt.
drink all the wine?
I've been filling up more than you have.
Well,
All right,
I had a,
Napa. I enjoy it. Thank you. Verdict is in.
I got holiday liquored up last night, so that's good. That's good.
There you go. All right. All right. So now I'm trying to recover. You know, I've already know that I've lost a shot. I mean, the chances of holding this out are pretty slim, but that
This
is
is just make your 5 and
just
get
get it. Yeah, just make the 5 and get out, and maybe I try to get one back on 17 or 18.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, just stop the bleeding.
Again, though, I think there's some shots you bail out on. It was like that par 4 where you just were like, I'm not going to hit this ball left because I got a mile of rim right. I think that's one of those where you just say, you know what, I don't like this lie. I'm in a certain scenario. You should try to not put yourself in that scenario, but you're 5 under par, you're playing really well, and you want to get up and down.
Yeah, I got
That
it.
would have been a good scenario to probably take out the Texas wedge or a 7-iron, aka putter, or a 7-iron and just hit it up there 10 feet and try to make a putt.
So looking back on that whole,
Good 5.
thank you. This is easy straightaway par 4 here coming up.
Yeah.
Let's run back to that 16. In my mind, yes, I shouldn't have pulled the trigger on that chip. I shouldn't have been there in my mind. The issue I need to resolve
Yeah, it was a bad
is the
second
approach.
shot. Yeah, absolutely.
Is the approach.
Yep.
Do I need to get better at those chips? Yes. And
But
that's
that was
something
a
I
poor
can work
second
on.
shot.
But I
I
think the
agree.
poor second shot is
That's right.
what led this to be.
Yeah. You hear people cry about a 3-putt from 40 feet. I'm kind of going, I don't think it was the 3-putt. It was the wedge that
It
you
was-
hit 40 feet.
Right. Right.
You know, you look like you're set up to hit a fade here.
Yeah.
Yep, beautiful. So when you hit a fade, do you drop your left foot back and kind of open up your shoulders and just, do you actually try to cut across the ball? I'm assuming you open up. First of all, that's the first question. Do you open
I'm gonna
up?
admit something.
Oh God, you close up and hit a fade?
No,
Okay.
I think fade.
You don't even change your setup?
I don't change anything. I just think fade.
Well, how the hell does you, how do you know where your
I
pass
just do it. I just do it. I think fade or I think draw.
Means +3 and I'm a 2. That makes a lot of sense.
I think it. I don't know how I do it. I just think it.
That's probably why you're a better golfer than me, because you're not thinking about mechanics, that's awesome.
So I've just got a good wedge into this, I think. I don't remember the yardage. I didn't look at it. I'm sorry, fellas, who are watching. But yeah, I just fired at the flag,
That's a
and
good shot. What do you got, 15, 20 feet?
give or take, yeah, call it 15. It's moving pretty hard from my right to left. And but I like it though. It's just enough uphill to where I think it's not going to run away from me,
Yeah, for sure.
and I can be kind of aggressive at it. You know, if I've got a putt that's, say it's breaking less than a foot and a half, I think you start to get around a 2 foot break. I think it's hard to judge the pace, to
Right,
match the
right.
pace with the line.
Yeah, with the line.
If it's a foot or under, I think I can usually, you know, get in. I try to picture so that's what I'm looking at the green, and I try to picture a window.
Okay.
Do you picture a window, a
You said
portal, if
that
you
sounds
will?
like the tiger thing, put to
Right.
the picture.
So
I don't, but
So I go through many different deals when I look at my putts. I picture a target about 75%, which is my apex. And then I look at a line that gets me to that apex, because it's going to be, if it's a right to left putt, it's going to be right at that apex, right? Because I have to get it there, and it's going to move a little before it gets there. And then I picture a window to go through to get it. And the window helps me with pace.
okay.
The window gives you a feel of speed relative to line.
Okay.
So, you know, I look at something a foot, maybe 6 inches short, and say I want to go over that. And in a sense, you're making these like a little ant trail
Yeah. I got what you're
back,
saying.
and you follow it all the way back to the ball, and then send it. And the last thing you look is that line, say 75%. You don't look at the hole. The last thing to look at is that 75% line, and I send it there.
This is a pretty easy hole.
You know what?
I'd be kicking myself in the balls if I don't make birdie on this one. 522. It's. I know it's cold, but it's probably warming up. You got your vest off. You ought to be able to send this. You hit it a long way. You got to be hitting driver and iron, right?
Yeah, so I try to hit a cut off this, usually. Move it to the right. There's a speed slot. Those trees in the middle of the fairway, or in the middle of the screen. If you land it to the right of that, they're going to run. The tendency is to want to carry that bunker, but it leaves you high. And that's kind of what I did. I came over the top of it.
Yeah.
So what you really want to do is hit a cut off of this.
Because your feet were pointed right, but you
Were
just
they?
thinking.
You're such a jerk.
Like you're jumping ahead. I mean, come on.
Hey, look, this is stuff I need to hear.
Yeah,
Right? If I'm going to get better, like, this is stuff I need to hear.
I mean,
You're
can't-
so much better at the mechanics than I am.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, you 100% are better at the mechanics. You know the mechanics, you just can't deploy it. I can deploy it, I don't know the mechanics.
Yep.
You need to be on the bag for me. If I play my next tournament, will you get on the bag for me?
If I can make it around, I got a banged up right foot, but I'll try.
right. All right,
What are we doing here?
I got 225. I'm thinking a high hybrid. It is very uphill.
Oh, good swing.
Thank
that
you.
was awesome.
I block it out a little bit. So this is tough because there's these really large mounds.
Yeah.
Like it looks like elephant backs
Yeah.
in the front of the green. And
oh, wow.
if you come up short, they stop the ball automatically. It's almost like they plug into them.
Yeah.
If you carry over them, it's fast, and just to the right of the screen here, that's out of bounds. Like it comes up on you really quick. So you're hitting something from 225, 230, 240, 250, and as soon as you carry those, it's downhill towards the road, towards the parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the parking lot if you go long. So I hit that hybrid, and I try to hit high, try to finish high, and so when you try to hit the ball high, you open the face, ball goes right. But it's not that bad because I've got an uphill chip. I'm on the backside going, but this is one of the few cases where I don't mind being long.
Yeah.
Because being short is really, really hard. Look where look at where the ball is. Front foot.
Oh yeah.
And I'm trying to hit low. It does not come out low.
No. Sure.
See? I don't think about this stuff as much as I should.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I'm playing bad. It's just all these little like stupid mistakes that I know better. And afterwards, I'm like, why am I trying to hit a low skipping release pitch with the ball off my front foot?
It's just not making the decision. You know.
Well, it's the mental
imperative.
scorecard.
That's right.
It's the mental scorecard.
That's right.
My score may be good, but my mental scorecard
Yeah.
is hot garbage.
Yeah. On certain shots, yeah. Sure is.
No, it
But
is.
you're 4 under par. You got this to go 5 under par, right?
It
Is
is.
it par 72?
It is, but look, it's a municipal course. If I'm trying to get to where I want to be,
Yeah.
like I've got to clean this stuff up.
Yeah. There's no doubt. I mean,
All right, so I mean, this is trying to get back to 5, a reasonable uphill putt, and I just machine gun this by. Like it didn't even in my mind.
You must have hit
scare
it
a
right.
hole. Yeah, no,
Jose's not giving it to you.
no, Jose does not give anything. I don't care who you
Good.
are.
I'm glad he didn't.
Jose is determined. He will putt everything out. Well, you know what?
Good round of golf though.
Thank you.
Lots of fairways, lots of greens, regardless if you shoot 68 or 69. I mean, lots of fairways, lots of greens, good control of the golf ball. Not a whole lot of wild golf shots. Your wedge game's kind of shitty, but outside of that, like pretty good
Thank you.
action. And I'm just messing with you. You hit a couple of good wedges, but that was probably the biggest eyesore I saw. Out of the
Just
whole
working
thing,
on my wedges.
was the wedges, yeah.
All right.
Don't you think? I mean,
No, look, I don't disagree.
I can count like
I-
3 or 4 shots that
that I've left on the golf course
from the wedge game.
from the
And
wedge.
you're
game.
not going to get it up and down that many times.
I stole one
statistically
on
from
4,
80 yards.
chipping it in.
Yeah, that was lucky.
I completely stole one. That should not have been on the card. All right, so, dude, I'm telling you, if I would have missed that putt,
Did you beat those 2 guys?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh goodness.
Well, 68's
Hey.
68. And it's
Appreciate
good.
it.
I mean, like you said, it's good to get used to being under par and know
Yeah.
what that feels like.
Yeah.
That's
No,
good
it's
stuff.
33, 35.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
No, I wouldn't either. It's
So-
a good round of golf.
All
I
right.
mean, I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching in. You give me a wedge game lesson, something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
I will.
Okay.
Yes.
I need it.
Yes.
I need it. I've got to, I feel like I get off the tee decent. I feel like I have really good control of my irons.
Yep.
But as it relates to some stuff around the greens, especially inside 50 yards, I feel like I'm leaving shots on the golf course.
Right.
And it's not so much that I don't feel like I'm giving myself the opportunities that I should get. I'm not saying that I need to get up and down every time from 50 yards out.
Right.
I'm saying I need to have better looks than I'm getting. I feel like there's no reason I should be 50 yards out and have a 25-foot putt.
Well, the thing is that I've noticed your plus 3.2, you should never miss hit a wedge shot. As good a player as you are, and you miss hit multiple wedge shots.
I do.
Those have to be hit right in the screws. To me, the only thing you watch the guys on the tour, they don't ever miss hit wedge shots. Not very often.
No.
It's long or short. It's distance control because it's a guess. It's 60 yards a guess, right?
Mhm.
That's how that's their miss. Is I hit it too hard and I hit it 15, 20 feet by the pin. They're not chunking them, and they're not blading them. Unless, it's Sunday on the back nine of Augusta and they're pissing their pants trying to get a green jacket. But it does not happen very often.
That's not the world I'm living in.
No.
No.
So,
Hey y'all, thank you so much for watching. Hope we were able to give you some insight as to what a scratch and plus handicap golfer would look at during a round. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to have another one coming up. I'm going down to Bentwater Golf Club down in Montgomery, Texas, playing a USAM Tour event.
sweet.
we'll see how that goes.
All right, brother. Enjoyed it.
Thanks. Click
See you in
like,
the next
subscribe. Can't wait to see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all. Hey everyone, thanks for watching episode 1. Be sure to check out episode 2 where I travel down to Houston, Texas and play at Bentwater Golf Club with the USAM Tour.
Hit it.